Buddy.
I just want to note for just everyone at large, Hope is an angel and she provides something that most townships don't have. So I was over her, I'm doing something for my parents and I spent time yesterday with Hope and she notarized a sheaf of documents for me, and not every town is lucky enough to have a registered notary who's available to their people, and Hope is a gift.
Oh. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
It's my pleasure.
And Hope, what am I
Yes?
going to ask you to do?
You asked me to do something
What
among
will,
other things?
what will I ask you to do?
Oh, notarize something.
No,
Oh, okay.
you have to get Paula to be a notary.
Okay. We'll work on that. Paola, she has a lot to do.
It's
We're
hard. You
moving
gotta-
along.
When I did it, you have to go all the way to downtown Manhattan, take that test, right?
No, you don't. I don't think so.
There's
Or
not a lot of
Newburgh.
places to go, right?
I think it's downtown Manhattan or Newburgh. Either way, it's 2.5 hour commute.
Or become a lawyer.
Debbie, do you want to text Tommy and see where the heck he is?
Sure.
We can start. Are we ready to start? Are we ready to record?
I believe we already are.
I think we are, right.
Okay, we are recording. Can I start then?
Go right ahead.
Okay. Is Facebook running?
Yes.
Okay.
Running live stream.
All right, good. Welcome everybody to the Rye Town Council meeting of September 21, 2021. A lot of 21s. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And
to
To the republic.
for which it stands,
one
One
nation,
nation,
indivisible,
under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
We do that a lot better when we're together.
think so.
That was one of the worst Pledge of Allegiance we've had.
Knew it was coming.
Maybe when we go back to live, it'll be better. For members of the public, we are on Zoom this month. Next month, we hope to have hybrid meetings. Governor Hochul signed legislation essentially doing the same thing that Governor Cuomo's executive order did in suspending the open meetings law that allows us to have Zoom meetings. Last month, we had a hybrid meeting. We had some technical difficulties this month with it, but hopefully our meetings going forward will be hybrid, which will allow members and staff to attend remotely if necessary, and yet have a full meeting. Hope, roll call, please.
Councilperson Jill Axelrod,
Present.
Councilperson Pamela Jaffe,
Here.
Councilperson Lindsay Ann Jackson.
Here.
I always, Councilperson Thomas Nardi, and Supervisor Gary Zuckerman. Forget that one,
Thank you.
You know your names.
right?
Everybody's here except Tommy. Okay. Adoption of minutes, the minutes of August 26, 2021. Unless there are additions or corrections, may I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Our first resolution is from Soul Riders to, Debbie, explain this. We have a resolution to tie Crawford Park pink. And we have a picture of,
Sarah, would you allow me to share my screen, please?
Go ahead, Debbie.
Thank you. So this is a resolution. We have heard from Soul Riders many of the past years in celebration or in observance of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. They are requesting permission to tie Crawford Park pink, which means to tie pink ribbons all over Crawford Park. They also run this as a fundraiser. People can donate to the Cancer Society and in exchange have a pink ribbon festooned on their residence. This year, as you will see, the ribbons are fabulous, but look a little different from in the past because this year they are made from organic materials, and these are now sustainable ribbons. And I would say that this is in response to a specific request made by Councilperson Jaffe last year when permission was granted.
We were thrilled to have this in the park last year. And the ribbons were, of course, not recyclable or compostable. And they stepped up to the plate. They found a US vendor who makes these gorgeous ribbons. They're fully compostable. I think it's a credit to the organization that they listen to us and they're willing to work on behalf of the environment and on behalf of women and men's health. So remember that breast cancer doesn't always just affect women. It is a male-facing disease as well. And I am fully in support.
Thank you, Pam. May I have a motion and a second to approve that request?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. None opposed. Number 2, a resolution to appoint Dr. Janusz Richards, actually to reappoint Dr. Richards to the Board of Assessment Review. Janusz has served, I know this will be his 3rd term, I believe, because I know that I had the honor to reappoint him one time, the first year that I was supervisor. It's a 5-year term. I don't know if anybody has any comment. Denise, you work with Janusz on the board.
Yes, and I think he's done a great job. So I am in favor of his reappointment.
Thank you.
Representing Portchester.
Janusz,
Yes, representing Portchester. The Board of Assessment Review has representatives from Portchester, Rybrook, and Rhinebeck.
Janusz, I just want to point out is a really dedicated public servant and works really hard on behalf of the community, both in Rytown and the village of Portchester. So I'm happy to see that he's continuing his work with the Assessment Review Board, and just want to thank him for the time he gives to the town and the community.
Thank you. Would you like to make the motion?
I'm sorry?
Would you like to make the motion to reappoint him?
I would enthusiastically make the motion.
Thank you. Second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you. Please call the roll, Hope.
Councilperson Axelrod,
Yes.
Councilperson Jaffe,
Yep.
Councilperson Jackson.
Yep.
I guess Tommy's not here, and Supervisor Zuckerman.
Yes. Thank you. Resolution appointing a climate smart task force and appointing Sylvie Binder, I've heard that name before, Smart Communities Coordinator. Pam, would you like to tell us what this is about?
Oh, goodness. I was looking at this agenda and I'm like, dear Lord, Debbie, it's all us. So we've been very busy as usual on the Sustainability Committee, even though summer and nobody really wanted to meet. But we have a resolution here, and given that New York has established the Climate Smart Communities program, we are striving towards those goals. We are striving to become a climate smart community and upon the bronze level, so the entry level. It is a lot of work. Now, Sylvie has been literally a godsend to the Sustainability Committee and the town. Silly is the reason, along with our intern Hannah, that we can fly the Tree City flag above Crawford Park and Rytown Park. We would like to appoint Sylvie as basically our point person to help us get to a climate smart community ranking so that we can keep going forward and getting more of these accolades and, basic, sustainable recognitions of our community and the work we're doing. So she is really charged with moving forward, leading our activities. There's just a host of things that need to be met and need to be done. And she is a driver and a mover. And we're lucky to have her. One of the things we do want to ask is she got us to Tree Smart or, Tree City pro bono. And her work was, so many hours and so much work and so much organization, such a talented young lady. We would like to at least offer her a stipend for her continued hours on behalf of the town and our sustainable endeavors towards this goal.
Thank you. Any other comments? Everybody can comment except for Jeff. If not, and I echo everything that you say, Pam. Thank you. May I have a motion? And I note that Tom Nardi has joined us.
Sorry I'm late.
Hey,
Better
Tom.
late than
Hi,
never.
Tommy.
Hello.
Let's do this roll call, please. Oh,
We didn't make the motion yet. I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Joe.
I already skipped that. Thank you.
Who's
I'll
second?
move it.
Okay,
I'll second.
Good second. Thank you, Lindsay.
thank you. Okay, Councilperson Axelrod,
Yes.
Councilperson Jaffe,
Yes.
Councilperson Jackson,
Yeah.
and Councilperson Nardi.
What am I agreeing to?
Our work towards becoming a climate smart community and appointing Sylvie Binder to be basically our appointed task force head.
Don't worry, no relation.
Small cousin, but well deserved for the amazing amount of work she does on behalf of the town.
Okay, yes.
Somebody raised her right.
And, right, and Supervisor Zuckerman.
Yes. And before we get to the next one, Tom, you missed the resolution to reappoint Dr. Janusz Richard to the Rytown Board of Assessment Review. Would you like to be recorded in favor of that vote?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Okay. So,
The next one is a resolution authorizing the council to renew the consulting agreement for sustainability events or sustainability event planning services for Melissa Greco. Debbie, why don't you handle this one, please?
So Melissa Greco, several years ago, the town's annual cleanup day, which is now a semi-annual cleanup day, we hold it twice a year, grew to being 4 different locations simultaneously. And we required a chairperson to handle all of those and basically conduct a 4-ring circus all at once. And Melissa Greco stepped up and was just starting off her consulting practice in the area of sustainability, and she did a stellar job. We were one of her first clients, and based on the success of the last 2 events, we are recommending that we re-engage Melissa to pilot our upcoming community cleanup day on November 6th. That's Saturday, November 6th. And she has also committed to our spring cleanup day, which will be scheduled in the future. I don't think we have a date, but it will coincide with Earth Day. So somewhere around that observance.
I just want to say, Melissa, boundless focus and energy and enthusiasm for everything that's environmentally focused. when we endeavored to extend our cleanup day across every municipality in the township, plus the city of Rye, we could not have done it so successfully without her expertise and leadership. She has been, once again, just yet another blessing to the town. We are really lucky to have such talented people working on behalf of the Sustainability Committee.
Thank you. Did we have a motion in a second?
Not yet.
Oh, let's do that. Motion in a second, please.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Please call the roll, Hope.
Councilperson Axelrod,
Yes, and might I know, we're lucky to have such a fearless leader of our Sustainability Committee as well. Since you give out so many accolades, you certainly deserve a shout out.
Honestly, I am just there, like they are
Just the
amazing.
vessel.
the vessel. Councilperson Jaffe,
Yes, please.
Councilperson Jackson,
Yes.
Councilperson Nardi,
Yes.
and Supervisor Zuckerman.
Yes. Thank you. This one is to a resolution to approve change order number 3 for the Otter Creek Bridge. All the documents. Debbie, you want to go over briefly with this, please?
Yeah, I'm sorry, the resolution just dropped off my screen, so I'm going to give you a general report that the final pieces of the Otter Creek Bridge stabilization are included in this final change order. It included additional pieces that needed to be installed at the instruction of the engineer, down to earth engineering, and also the sidewalk, which needed to be repoured. That was not in the original bid. If you recall, we went to bid as fast as humanly possible in order to make sure that that bridge was stabilized. And we were on a path to getting that done as fast as possible, but it meant that once all the major work was done, we had several pieces that we needed to put into place, and that's what this was. Not a major amount of money.
Debbie, and I apologize because I was thinking this at one point, but was kind of caught up in what was going on at home. How did Otter Creek Bridge make out with the storm?
Fine. We did fine, and we were lucky enough to have inspectors from the New York State Department of Transportation on site the following day, because it's in the village of Mamaroneck, and the engineers who have been working on the Hillside Avenue Bridge and who actually drafted and submitted our Otter Creek Bridge replacement grant application to the Bridge New York program, were escorting those inspectors around to the bridges, and were lovely. And I submitted the request that they visit Otter Creek Bridge and take a look, which they did, and the bridge did fine. So
Oh,
we
great.
got a good report.
I think one of the
And now-
reasons the bridge did well is because the wing walls were reconstructed.
Yes.
I don't know,
Oh my goodness.
Oh, exactly.
I don't know that it would have done so well had that construction not taken place with the concrete pilings and everything else.
With the holes in those wing walls, forget it.
That bridge could have been in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Most definitely, that bridge would have been gone if those repairs weren't done.
And guess what? On the flip side of that, if that was gone, then the whole bridge would have had to be replaced.
Yeah.
We would have had to advance our application.
Seeing the amount of damage that was done on Lincoln Avenue, I really thanked the township for the amount of work they put into the Otter Creek Bridge. Like, it was at the right time.
We should call Carino. Thank him.
Don Marino, I would love that. It would be my pleasure. I
Now,
think he would very much appreciate it. He He really invests himself in his projects.
Yeah. That's good. All right.
Now, we have
motion and-
additional work coming up on the bridge, right? Or,
Don't we still have the guardrails?
Yes, that's right. We still have the guide rails that need to be installed. We're waiting for designs from Dolph Rutfeld Engineering AI.
Debbie, when you can, remind me, I wanted to offline, I need to talk to you about that.
Certainly.
May I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
I'll
I'll
second it.
second.
Oh.
Nope, I'll give it to Tom.
All right.
Call the roll.
Councilperson Axelrod,
Yes.
Councilperson Jaffe,
Yes.
Councilperson Jackson,
yes.
Councilperson Nardi,
Yes.
and Supervisor Zuckerman.
Yes. Resolution designated Crawford Mansion Community Center as a cooling center.
Sorry.
Well, once again, as Debbie's ringing, I mean, I feel like I see the thumbprint of Debbie and Vic and Sylvie on this.
Yes. So one of the climate smart community actions is to establish a cooling center for the community. And one of the things that is the staff is completely in agreement is that in times of emergency, Crawford Park is there and Crawford Mansion Community Center is there. And this is a very easy offer to make, to declare Crawford Mansion Community Center a place where people from the community who need to cool off in times of energy, extreme heat, and who do not have air conditioning, either because of power failures or they just don't have air conditioning. This is something we can offer.
Question, Debbie, does
I have
with
I have a
this
question.
also,
I'm sorry.
let me ask my question.
Yeah.
I know that this is a cooling center. Does it have the same effect if we designate as a heating center in the wintertime?
I'm not familiar with that, so I can't answer your question. Happy to look
Can
into
we
it.
look, let's look into it.
Sure.
For a cooling center, why aren't we a heating center? I mean, I know that we offer it, but to get climate smart credit for it.
Yeah, that was exactly my question. If we're doing it for cooling, I can't see why we can't do it for heating as well, for when we have severe storms and there's power outages throughout the community.
And a charging center.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
I think we already have, but I think that this is to get recognition from
Yeah, climate smart.
climate smart
That's
people.
climate smart, yeah. But I do love that Crawford Mansion is such a boon to the community and is
did-
willing to offer heat and cooling and charging in times of need.
I've done both of those when running the Police Athletic League in Yonkers. And it does satisfy a lot of people. So it is a good thing.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, when we were doing the build design for this, we were also considering heating and cooling in case of emergencies.
Right.
And charging.
Mhm.
Yeah, and charging, yes. You know. So,
Doors open to the community.
yeah, I think what's going to end up happening is even if we have passed this, when there is a severe storm, it's going to get out there through social media that because people will still have their phones and stuff and know that Crawford Park will be available to them if need be.
I think we need to remind them in those times. So it'd be great to utilize social media and the local, just regular media to pass the word, like, please remember Crawford is here and it's, it's of service to you if you need it.
Yes.
Well, actually, as a little sidebar, during Ida, Camille has a video of a car parked under the pavilion and the people getting out and staying under the pavilion. So we're on our way already.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they put their car under there.
Event
No,
ticket
I know.
code. And also speaking of Crawford, and this I'm off railing, so I am sorry. But Crawford being of service to the community, I do want to give a shout out to Vic and to Camille, because right now they are collecting for victims and people who have lost so much due to Ida. So if you were to look in Crawford Mansion right now, it's piled with coats and clothes and furniture and dishes and school supplies and everything. And they're working to get this out to local charities to benefit people right here in the township who have lost so much in the past month. So kudos to them and kudos
Yes.
to Crawford.
Thank you very much, both of you. Vic and Camille doing an incredible job.
I have to come clean. I really was not a part of that effort, but I can tell you that we have some staff members that have been faithfully sitting in the Great Hall every single day. They receive the donations, they sort them. I mean, we have some wonderful people, and they do it with a smile. You know, I mean, they're happy to be doing this type of work. So
Yeah, I know. I was there and I saw them.
yes,
They were
right? I mean,
they are
perfect.
fantastic.
Yep.
Lovely, lovely young people.
Yep. We're lucky.
That's an amazing effort they're putting forward.
Mhm.
Three
So,
cheers for Crawford.
Time for resolution. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
I'll second.
Hope, call the roll, please. After you take yourself off mute, Hope.
Thank you. Councilperson Axelrod,
Yes.
Councilperson Jaffe,
Yes.
Councilperson Jackson,
Yes.
Councilperson Nardi,
Yes.
and Supervisor Zuckerman.
Yes, thank you. Reports, Crawford Park. Do we have a report today, Camille?
Yes, we do. And Debbie's going to be kind enough to share the report with her screen. I've broken it down. It's only 2 slides, but the first one I want to talk about the level of activity we've had year to date. Debbie, if you could please click.
I'm clicking.
Oh, no.
Blank screen.
I'm clicking. There we go.
There you go. You got it. Okay. So we continue to really have significant increase in awareness and growth. You know, cumulative number of inquiries as of 2 days ago was 295. Today we hit over 300. So that was exciting for us. And I don't really see it slowing down. And while COVID has been a factor in some of our reservations, you know, we just continue to work with the patrons on different types of solutions, you know, utilizing the solarium and the brick terrace, because that could be considered open air. So people definitely are coming to Crawford because we have a lot to offer that a basic venue would not. So we're pretty proud of that. Okay, next, please. Thank you. So this is taking a look at the past 5 months and the amount of events that we have booked and executed. So these are our cumulative numbers. So we are up to 184 events on the books, and we are actually at a 63% booking rate. To be honest, I don't know if that's good. I don't know what it is against the industry average, if there even is one. But I think 63% is pretty good, all things considered. In that number, we have 117 that have already been executed. We have 69 that are awaiting execution. And you know, the interesting thing is we've actually had to turn away 17 inquiries because the dates they wanted were already booked. So we continue to get a lot of those. And we're sorry to turn them away, but we just don't have the space. So who are the folks that are using Crawford the most? Town of Rye residents, clearly. And the other 3 categories are pretty well split, with non-resident and municipal organizations at 31 events each, and not-for-profit at 24 events. So it's well-rounded, I would say. Any questions on that? Nope.
Looks good. Yes, I have one question. Who's making up these slides?
Who's what?
Making up these slides. This is a great presentation.
Well, thank you. That's what happens when you're in marketing for years, you know, it just kind of just happens. Okay, so now the best part, we're going to talk about revenue. We're getting to that 250,000 mark, Gary. We're going to make it to that point. We currently have, and this is actual bookings, actual executions and pending bookings.
I mean,
And we
the
are-
person you're really talking to is Davy Burns.
Dave, I don't see you on my screen, but I know you're there, right?
I am here. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Look at the smile on his face.
Oh, there you are. Good. I'm glad
here.
you're smiling with us on this. And so please go on to the next one.
I have a quick question. The revenue that we're discussing here, is that gross or net revenue?
That is gross.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the year, we'll be able to go in and look at the records and see what kind of staffing costs we've had at each of these events, because that really has varied quite a bit. But we'll be able to come back with, you know, an actual number showing what our expenses were. Okay,
I have a question.
sure.
What does the M stand for?
The M, 1,000,
1,000.
Right.
Okay. Not million.
not mil, oh, that would be nice, but no, not yet. Maybe next year, Gary. But no, it's
Okay with
1,000.
1,000.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
No,
Okay
it's
with
both.
1,000.
It is both. This is just how I've always done it. I could switch it out to a K next time, but
Yeah.
both are million, it would be 2 M's.
Well,
So
you excited us
I
all
knew it.
thinking
I
we
knew
made
it wasn't
millions of
millions. So
you what?
I knew it wasn't millions. So
Thank you,
I
thank
just
you.
want to make it clear to the public.
I should put a little notation. You're right, Gary. I should clarify that.
Or make it a K or a G.
So now we want to take a look at, or I wanted to take a look at, you know, where are we gaining the most revenue? And I was really surprised to see that the highest income is coming from our sports fields. Now, that does not mean that they're using the pavilion. That's a separate allocation. But the amount of soccer, the amount of flag football, I mean, the amount of time that is currently booked on the sports field is incredible. Mansion being the 84,000, we're happy with that. And the mansion and pavilion, those are very few reservations. And I expected the pavilion number to be higher, but it's not. So that's at 9,000. The percentages of the total are below it. So as you can see, sports field and the mansion are the tough reservations to get these days. So, and the number of events, if you could please click, Debbie. Okay, it really, it's a surprising number. So if you look at, we have the largest revenue from the sports field, we only have 23 contracts. For the mansion, we have 73. But for the pavilion, because it's such a lower rental fee, we have 85 events booked and then just 2 for the mansion and the pavilion. So it's really an interesting dynamic in terms of the value of the rental versus the number of events that we're seeing. And that's our report.
Is that going to result in a possible change of rate structure or not?
You know, it could be. I honestly have not gotten any feedback in terms of, no, I'm sorry, you know, this is, you know, why are you charging this much? No one's really ever questioned it. You know, I think the drive for the outdoor space is really what's driving this. And I mean, every single day when I work with patrons, I had a couple in today that has a party booked in the mansion, and they called today and said, we're getting a lot of no's from the guests because they're concerned about COVID and we're going to be inside, you know, what can we do? So they came over and we walked around. I opened up the whole great hall for them with the windows and the doors, and they were happy with the fact that we could do that. But as I said, while you're here, let's go up and look at the pavilion. Well, they were pleasantly surprised at the size, the fact that we had the lights on or the lights up. So they may just change it and go over to the pavilion because it's a better space for their family and friends that are very, very COVID conscious. So, and they did ask, Gary, you'll appreciate this. They did ask if all of our staff that would be on site are vaccinated. So I told them, absolutely, it's a policy of the town of Rye that in order to be an employee, you must be vaccinated. So they were happy to hear that. So
Good.
Yep.
I like to hear that. I'm glad they asked the question, and I'm glad you have the proper answer.
And we also require our staff to wear a mask at all times
Yep.
during events. So it's working out fine. It really has not been, no one's challenged, the mask or no mask situation. It's been okay, been fine.
Good.
I got a question. The tent, how have we been doing with the tent?
Well, the tent, we're really learning a lot with the tent because we do have people that are renting it. We used the tent for a wedding 2 weeks ago when we had that terrible rainstorm. And what they did was they rented 2 other tents that they basically attached to ours. And there was 230 people at this wedding, and it worked under that tent beautifully. What we're realizing for day-to-day rentals are 2 things. During the day, for any type of party, if the pavilion is rented, we don't really have kitchen space for them. If it's later in the day or early evening, we don't have lights under the tent yet. I mean, it's certainly something we could do easily, I'm sure. But right now we're learning that, okay, so we have this great, tented lawn area, but what is the best use? It was great for camp. It's been great for kids get-togethers. We have booked it for a bar mitzvah service in a couple of weeks. So it's gaining a little momentum at a time, and I'm really trying to figure out what is the best way to sell it, but people are happy that it's there.
All right, I haven't had a chance to really go by and see the tent and stuff. What are we doing for flooring? Because I imagine if it's not good weather, there's going to be a mud pit. Are we putting any type of temporary flooring down on these events, or are they on their own?
They haven't really needed any flooring with the exception of the wedding. And they brought in a 15 by 15 dance floor that was put down. The center, of course, is, it doesn't get much sun, so it's a lot of dirt, but the tent doesn't leak, right, Vic? I mean, it's how many storms has it?
It's not a question about the tent leaking. It's the runoff that comes off the ground from the buildup.
It does get a little muddy under there, Tom.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Is there something that we can do to help seeing about what we can do for temporary flooring, whether it's the thick foam mats or some kind of they had the see, you don't want anything permanent,
Right.
because you want something you can remove for when you have a function like a wedding or a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah. You want to have some kind of flooring so they're not stepping in mud and dirt.
I think there is an option for some of the people to rent, say, some AstroTurf to put it down. I don't know that we necessarily want to have that, but if someone wants to rent that, if they're having an event in there,
Okay.
Yeah.
So we allow them.
can
So in other
certainly do
words, if they want to go out and get their own flooring and stuff, they're more than welcome to go out and rent it themselves, have it put down and moved up. Okay.
yes, yeah.
We don't have enough storage.
Right.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is where are we going to store it? You're going to get another container,
Yeah, no.
another cost. Okay. No problem. That's. I was just curious.
If we could build another pavilion, that would be great. I know we could book it, that's for sure.
No, we got to get a Butler building.
I
before
know, the
pavilion.
Butler building
Okay.
first. Okay. No problem.
One step at a time.
I
Yeah.
know, I know.
We also have appointments for a site visit from ChargePoint to take a look at the possibility of electric charging stations, putting in a few more of those. That's one of those
Now,
term process.
putting new charging stations in, how that means we have to dig up the parking lot again to run the electrical?
No,
No, we have that in there. We
No,
put
because
extras in.
the service comes from on the lawn. You know where the big
Yes,
box
I
is?
remember the box. We got that big box there.
Yeah.
Yeah, transformer.
Yes,
Thank you.
yeah. So they would go through that transformer.
Yes.
Okay,
But
we
are
have
we-
enough, we have enough power coming up from that transformer to,
Most
Handle.
definitely, yeah.
yeah, definitely, okay.
no, what
That's
we'd
good.
look to do, Tommy, at some point is we would use some behind the parking lot, use some kind of a permeable parking surface,
Mhm.
not asphalt.
No, I know, when I was on the other board, I was looking into permittable parking in the grass area. And
Right.
it's, to do it correctly, it's a little pricey, but they were basically, you have to tear it, you gotta tear up the lawn and you gotta put the item you gotta put dead sand item for it. It's a project. But the grass grows in between. They're like, there's really, really thick, heavy mats that has holes in them and the grass comes up in between.
They're different
Yeah,
products.
well, that was
They're
the one I was looking at.
There are several products. We were looking at them before, or even for Rytown Park, that were suitable. What was it? Echo Raster?
Yeah, Eco Raster, yes.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
And I think during the design build, we were looking into it, and then we said, well, that's something we could do later down the line because of the
Now-
cost.
Now, with all these electric charging spots, how often are the electric charging spots used during high volume events? Because my concern would be the more we add, the more we're taking away from,
Well, we're not
Other-
taking any from the events as of where we're putting them.
there would be added parking.
okay, so it'll be
Added-
additional parking spots.
Yeah,
Yeah, not only that, but we would put more, if we're gonna go through that, we would put more parking spots than charging stations.
Yeah.
and right now during parties, I don't believe we fill up the 4 spots we have right now.
For chargers, yeah, I would agree.
I'll tell you, unfortunately, I don't get down Crawford as much as I used to. But the times that I've been going down there, there's always been somebody at the charging station.
Yeah.
I've always seen
Yeah.
at least one car there.
Yes.
That's right.
So
Oh,
I'm glad it's
definitely.
being used. But we get a small percentage back from the state on that for the charging, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, our
Yeah,
charging station,
The state underwrote the installation. We got rebates on the
Yes.
installation, but we don't get rebates on running them. That's all the town's bill.
Okay.
And one of the things, we'll report in future months about what we recommend. We have a proposal from Blink and a business model from Blink. The supervisor is not satisfied yet that they're ready to do business with us.
Okay.
And so we have ChargePoint coming in to do site visits. We're now at the very beginning of conversations with them. We'll see what their proposals are. And in the meantime, perhaps the infrastructure will catch up and make it a lot more financially viable for municipalities like ours to offer this service. Right now, Con Ed's their demand charge is a pretty unknown quantity, and that's a lot of risk for us to take on.
Yeah. Okay.
we're hoping that they're gonna at some point get legislation that makes it more economical for us to have the charging stations.
All right.
Not like we're looking to make a fortune on them, but we don't want to
No,
we don't want to lose a lot of money.
Yeah, and you want them to have a nice convenience for people that, for the use
Right.
of the park and stuff, so it's good.
So I
Right.
I think we're approaching the time shortly where it may be a viable thing for us to charge for the use of the charging stations. At the moment, we're still offering it as a,
They just pay and that's it. We don't collect anything from it.
that's right.
Okay. Yeah, I think it might be a good idea to start charging for the charging station because, not to make a killing, but you like to say that at least let's at least break even, if not a little bit, a little more at the beginning.
Cover the maintenance.
Yeah, to cover the maintenance, exactly.
We're
Right.
definitely on board with that, and we are trying to figure out for Gary getting stations with sufficient voltage and basically the equation of how to make it economically feasible for the town.
Yeah.
The problem is that the higher charger station, the stations with the
The quick
most
charge.
voltage, the demand charge will be extremely high.
Yeah.
And and I'm some places are putting in the really low chargers, which take forever for a car to charge. Nobody is going to want to use those.
No, exactly.
So,
Of all
we're
people,
trying-
this is the one thing I say you're the expert on.
Thank you, Tommy.
You're the expert on that one.
All right, let's move on. Assessors report, Denise. Do you have anything to report?
No, not much, other than the final roll was finished on September 15th. And all of the notices went out. And now if anyone is not satisfied with the results, they can file a small claims assessment review or SCAR through October 15th. And the bar totals have not been finalized, but roughly we had 210 residential filings. And there were 50 value reductions. 31 were done by the BAR, 19 were done by me as quote unquote assessor STIPs, where people came in before grievance day and we agreed to reduce the value, mostly based on sale prices. And on the commercial filings, there were roughly 240, and I would say half a dozen reductions. And that's basically it.
All right, very good. And
Thank
by
you.
the way, one other, how does the number of grievances filed, residential and commercial, for 2021 compared to those for 2020?
Good question. They are about half, and that is as a result of the reval in 2020 generated more than normal amount of filings. And then this year, because much of the residential assessments remain flat and many of the commercial assessments went down because of COVID, we had a significantly less number of filings.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Vic,
Right, I've got a
have you
little bit.
listed here?
Let's go back to the donation drive. We're going to be collecting throughout this week to the end of this week, starting tomorrow. Actually, Salvation Army is coming to us to pick up. We will be delivering to the sharing shelf.
Where is that located?
It's located right here in Port Chester.
I thought it was up by the airport.
No, it's down on Purdy Avenue.
Okay.
That's the furniture share house.
Oh, yeah, you're right, Lindsay.
I've had 2 calls out to Don Bosco. I haven't heard anything back from them. The Carver Center is only taking certain stuff. Lindsay, do you have anybody in Mamaroneck for me?
I did reach out to the community center, the community resource center, and they are taking toiletries and that kind of stuff. So, I have a call into them again today, so find
Okay,
out.
as we're dispersing, I'd like to,
Yeah.
evenly separate everything.
Yep, and I did reach out to St. Peter's. I have not heard back from Father Tierney, but I'll reach out again.
Okay. Again, like Camille said, the two young ladies that have been doing this have been terrific. Veronica Sanchez and Denise Rodriguez have worked diligently with all this, and it's amazing how much the area around the town has supported this.
Great.
Didn't realize, I kind of like to do things on a whim as Camille is learning. And you know what? Most of the time they work out well.
They do. I have to admit,
Um,
they do.
You two make a powerhouse team there.
Thank you.
Sometimes I think we're like, Laurel and Hardy.
I,
But,
I really do need to disagree. I don't believe this was on a whim. I think that this was, that there was a lot of conversation among you guys, but then also with the town council about how can we help? Where can we help? What is our way? And you found the way.
That's
I
true.
don't see it as a whim at all.
No, it wasn't a whim, but that's how I start out. I start out with a whim.
You start out with a thought, and isn't that our role here is to help and to help
Yes.
be a service to the community. And I love the fact that you're constantly thinking of ways, especially you can work with expedience in a time when people need it the most. And the fact that you've cast this net of resources out and you're gathering all this stuff from the community and you're making sure that you disperse it evenly and carefully throughout the constituents. I just think it's laudable.
Agreed.
Thank you. Okay, secondly, through the storm, the park made out really well. We did have some gravel washout along the roadway going down to Lincoln. We had a tree leaning against the pergola, which the guys pulled up with our new little loader and straightened it up, and we staked it. And the tent has handled all the storms. So
That's shocking. That's the most shocking of all.
you know what, Mrs. Crawford, we say it all the time.
We
Mrs.
do.
Crawford is watching over that place.
Yep.
Next thing I'll go on to is Charlie and Candy moving into the house. We've made large strides. Tom has helped us. I'm hoping to get them in first week of October.
We're talking about the caretaker moving into the
Yes.
caretaker cottage here.
Yes, exactly. So that's where our target date is. Still got a few things to do. Tom, I sent you a text today.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, we have all the baseboard heating panels and everything.
Vic, I did not get your text.
All right, I'm letting you know now.
All right, so all those dummy baseboards came in?
Yep. So when you have some time, you want to show Matthew and Angel.
Yeah.
We'll get them on the floor. And then the only thing we really have. to
You
do
know
is-
what? I can come Saturday morning around 9 o'clock.
All right, let me check with them.
Okay. Or I can come. I don't need to do this over the thing, but I got to, I can come Friday. I already have one. I can get there around 5 o'clock on Friday, or I can go Saturday morning.
All right, let me check with them, see what's better for them.
All right. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Why I didn't get your text message. I did not get it.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay, anything else, Vic?
Yes, the most important thing. Yesterday, we met with Dan Mabe, who's from AGSA Green Zone. He came to Crawford Park all the way from California. Even though Larchmont is tomorrow going to be the first green zone, he was in total awe of our place. Larchmont is doing it with the Little Mowers Weed Whacker blower. He didn't realize we were doing the whole thing with large mowers, with the way we have it set up. It was just a great day. And even to my dismay of him in the past, he turned out to be a real nice guy. And
It's true. And it was really great because while we were meeting with him in the pavilion, Matthew got onto one of the big green mowers and took off. And the guy from AGSA was just like, what a remarkable young man. He's like,
Yeah.
what a pleasure to work with. And it was really nice.
I was up there and we came up with that. Tell the council about the idea with the
Field day,
municipality.
that's on my list, yes. We're in November, the second week in November, he has to tell us the exact date. We're gonna have a field day, a manufacturer's field day of electrical landscape equipment. We figure we'll do the first half of the day for municipalities and schools and the second half of the day for landscapers. And it'll attract the attention of everybody in the county. And hopefully with us becoming a green zone and working with him, we'll get some national attention too.
Yeah, and be able to really spread the knowledge of green landscaping practices. I love the idea of try before you buy, and we can really make full use of Crawford all over to demonstrate different
We need to
manufacturers and products.
We need to, when we get the date certain, we need to publicize this.
We know.
Yes.
Okay?
I
Good.
also, in speaking with Debbie about this yesterday, I mentioned that, this can be a test pilot, but I would also like to see, even though we don't use more of the single user home type equipment, some kind of similar demonstration for homeowners
I think it's a great idea, Lindsay, and I think
on a smaller
based on
scale.
what we learned from our fall field day, having a spring field day, maybe in connection with Earth Day, might be a wonderful homeowner education event.
That might be a nice add-on to our spring planting day.
We can
Yeah,
also
like I
think
said,
about doing it on Rybrook Day next year in June.
Is there going to be a Rybrook Day?
There's a lot of people on Rybrook Day.
Yeah.
And
There's a
that's
lot
a
of
good
stuff.
reason. That's a good reason to have them because most of them are homeowners and you have the equipment there as an exhibit.
I'm just worried about safety and
Yeah,
legality.
Rybrook Day is for kids to run around and eat ice cream and have a good time and
Be kind of wild and throw them
I'm
in
just
big bouncy
throwing
things.
it out. Just throwing it out. All right.
But we are doing our
Now-
best to build in these workshops to big town events, whether it be we're going to have kind of like lunch and learn after the November 6th cleanup. We are hoping to have some sort of activity when it comes to coming home to Crawford. If you were doing the Fall Fest, Lindsay, I was going to torment you into doing some sort of seminar so that we can involve people in these workshops. So we are trying to make these the opportunities that we're drawing people in to do seminars.
So the Welcome Home to Crawford Holiday Lights Festival will be Saturday, December 4th.
Lindsay's dad is
Yeah.
going to be Santa.
yes.
Oh, boy.
He has a suit.
Okay. Vic,
Yes, I'm done, Gary.
are you sure?
Yeah.
Good.
I
Great
think,
report.
thank you.
We are going to have, by the way, Ronald McDonald House on property on Sunday. So,
This Sunday?
This
That's
Sunday.
this Sunday.
Mhm.
Is this their big event or they're just looking at it?
No, it's their big event.
Oh, okay, good.
They're doing it a little differently this year. It's somewhat scaled back. They're not doing the walk, but they're definitely doing the family fun portion of it. And should be a very nice event.
Good. Excellent. Next up, Davey, talk to us.
Okay.
I know you have, start off with the good news.
Well, today was the day that the town refinanced the bonds into serial bonds, and the bids came in. We received 5 bids from different financial institutions. The winning bid was from FHN Financial Capital Markets. All bids were very, very close in terms of true interest rate cost. The winning bid came in at just about 1.59% for a 20-year bond.
So it's 1.56.
Yeah, we're still working that out, but it looks it's 1.56 to 1.59. There's some last minute changes on that, but so they came in at the low bid. Our previous bonding for 20 years was in 2017 was about 2.5%. So it's nearly a point less. And if you just think about 1.5% interest rate for 20-year notes, it's incredibly low. So it really did make sense to refinance and get that long-term low rate. At the same time, the ban was issued for $7.1 million back in 2019. We are going to pay down $615,000 of that ban. So we're actually going out to financing for $6,485,000. That's due to the grants and money that came in from FEMA that were reimbursements that came back on those projects for Wright Town Park. So we're paying down that debt for some of that money that came back in. So the closing for the serial bonds will take place at Bond Council on September 30th, on which that day they will fund the bonds, and the bans are scheduled to be paid off on October 1st.
Great. Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Anything else you want to talk
And
about?
Dave, that's not going to impact the debt service due this year, right?
No.
Would...
This year impact of the debt service is the pay down of the ban and the interest on the ban. The first payment on this bond will be in September 15th, 2022 will be part of that budget.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? You want to talk about receivables? You want to talk about anything?
Receivables were relatively quiet this month in terms of there's 14 total in rent properties, so there's no real new developments. We're continuing to collect, so we're in very good shape with overall receivables at this point of the year.
Good. Thank you.
Okay.
Nick, anything from you, my friend?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Supervisor. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
Okay, I just want to update everyone that our new portal is up and running and doing very well. We so far have $3 million have been paid through that. There's a few points I'd like to discuss at this time. We are working on, first of all, to get a notice out there because many people are not aware or questioning fees involved to it. But there are convenience fees for this. Our old company had a $3 minimum and a $9 maximum on an ACH or E check. This one has a flat $1.50, no matter what the amount is. It could be like the co-op's $90,000 to $100,000, they pay $1.50. The credit card in our old company was 2.8%. This one varies from 2.65 to 2.53. So both fees in this company are reduced. Plus, in addition to that, there is much more services that can be looked into in this system. We are going to start working now, first of all, to get the rates notified to all the public because we are getting complaints, number one. Number two, to let everyone know that they can set up a set date to have their payment made automatically or get an email notice that their taxes are due. So there are other features that have to be announced to our taxpayers, and we will work on that going forward. But all in all, it's pretty well up and running. And basically, I don't know of any major complaints.
Thank
Any
you.
questions? Any questions at all for me?
All the tax bills are out, the school bills are all
Tax
out. now?
bills are all out. Yes, they have until, well, that's another point I want to bring into. You have till September 30th, but if you pay online 1 minute after midnight, you have to pay the penalty because it's already October 1st. So please, you've had it in the past where people holler and they say, it was only a few hours. Why do I have to pay the penalty? We do not control that. That's there. So if you're after midnight on September 30th, making an online payment, you are going to have to pay a penalty. So keep that in mind and try to make sure that you're there before midnight on the 30th of September. We have the box out front. You can put your check in there 24/7. So, you know, we do have ability for, there's the lockbox, which is very strong. People pay that. The envelope is in there from the mailing company. So there are many avenues of making your payment. There's no reason why you should go over the deadline and have to pay a penalty.
Thank you, Nick.
Okay, anything else for me, board members? Okay, thank you and good evening.
Thank you.
Great, thanks,
Hope,
Nick.
you're last. Anything for us? Your report is filed, I see.
Yes, nothing else for me.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Harry, I have a couple of things that I want to say. I just want to talk about, first of all, the Hillside Avenue Bridge replacement project was slightly delayed by Hurricane Ida, but is progressing now and will probably be on schedule, if a little bit delayed. Hillside Avenue Bridge was closed this past week, which is as planned, and so that's continuing. The other thing I want to mention is, as we're entering the budget season, our first budget workshop is this coming Monday, September 27th. I would like to point out that the second budget workshop was on everybody's calendar for October 4th. It will be October 25th. That's Monday, October 25th. And then our third budget workshop is currently scheduled for November 8th. Monday, November 8th.
Okay. Hope, when do you have to present the tentative budget?
Well, that's in October 30th.
All right, so that's right after our second session.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Anybody else? Council, any comments?
I'd just like to thank everybody for those kind words regarding my daughter. Thank you.
Daughter is a treasure and an asset to the township, so thank you for making the connection to her, especially in the past year.
We're planning on having her work very hard.
Yes.
Really is a pleasure to work with a persistent, hardworking young lady. She really is a pleasure.
Thank you.
Jeff, I'm sure you had a small part in that whole thing.
By the way, I forgot to, do you have a report, Jeff? I skipped over you. I went from Nick to Hope. You have anything?
No, nothing to report.
Okay, very good.
All right, just wish everybody has a nice Columbus Day, you know? So I don't think there's a parade in Portchester this year, but, you know, just have a nice day.
Thank you, Tommy. I want to thank everybody. I know that a lot of stuff going on since the last meeting, and I'm really proud of the entire staff of the town of Rye and all of you council people. I think that it's really a pleasure working with such a dedicated group. I really appreciate it. So thank you. And with that, unless anybody has something else, motion to adjourn.
I'll
So
second.
moved. Oh.
All in favor?
I'm quick, I'm not that quick.
Okay. Can you tell I'm tired now?
All right.
Lindsay and Gary have had long nights, and Debbie.
Did I say all in favor? Aye.
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 See you
And I
next
do apologize for the
October
copy.
19th. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye now.